you clearly see the bounded weak echo region, and they issued the tornado warning for Plevna, the tornado emergency, because we've confirmed this on the ground. I mean, we've been seeing this for quite a little while, so we're continuing to watch this as it continues to move through. Let's go over and take a look at the debris signature. So let's go over to the RoHV. There it is, still very clear at this point. So it's tracking from Neola, south of Sylvia, and approaching Plevna at this point. So this still on the ground, tornado emergency for Plevna, and if this continues tracking in this direction, this is going to take it eventually over into Greater Hutch. So this is your first alert, Hutch, that you need to get ready to go ahead and get down into your shelter, because this is a very serious situation. Meteorologist Cameron Venable is between Turon and Langdon, is continuing to track on this as this is moving towards the northeast. So south of Sylvia, over towards Plevna, tornado still on the ground at this point, and it continues to roll. Cameron, have you got an update? So you confirmed with the long exposure, I'm hoping, what's going on? All right, Cameron apparently still doing that. So let's take me full screen once again. We're going to roll this forward here over the past 30 minutes. There is your bounded weak echo region. Very clear indication confirming that the tornado is still ongoing. And this is moving near Sylvia, and it's about to roll over Plevna. So you got to be down in your shelters. Plevna, Abbeville, over towards Partridge, and even towards Hutch. I know you're not under the tornado warning right now, Hutchinson, but just given the direction and movement of this is going to be a really close call, especially on the west side and the northwest side. So let's go ahead and take those tornado precautions now as that continues on down to the south. We're going to expand the view, and this is the storm that we're worried about, okay? We know there's other thunderstorms here around Newton over towards Marion, but this is the storm that will continue to roll across Cakeland that we're going to continue watching here. So as we zoom in here into Reno County, that is the storm of the moment from Sylvia over to Plevna. Let's continue to tighten up at this point, and that is rolling in. Let's get an update. Cameron, are you back with us yet?
Yeah, I'm with you guys, but the lightning is just not cooperating. But it is a large tornado. I would say very close to a wedge.
Okay, so getting back on 61 now, so you can get back into the chase and kind of close the gap with it at this point. We can't emphasize enough. If you live anywhere in Reno County near US 50, from Sylvia to Plevna on over towards Abbeville to Partridge, you got to be down in your shelters. This is a life-threatening situation. The debris signature with this very clear. So we're going to continue to go over to the Wichita radar. Let's go to the RoHV. This is the debris signature, and there you go. We can track that as that came across. And look at the debris signature, unfortunately, is only getting larger with this. So this is tracking between Sylvia and Plevna, unfortunately right over towards Plevna. So you've got to already be down in your shelters at this point. The debris signature just continues to grow. Now, what's surprising to me is from our camera in Hutch on Main Street, looking down to the southwest, okay, you know, occasionally we're getting some lightning flashes. So, let's go over and take a look at the camera from Hutch. Anna has got that.
Yeah, I'm kind of just watching this every now and then. You'll see the whole sky just kind of light up momentarily, but it's not very frequent. A lot of it is just kind of, it happens for a moment and then it stops for a while. So we're not seeing a lot of that lightning, but we are pointed directly right where that storm is going to be rolling in if it is going to be reaching Hutch. So that is what we are kind of looking back towards. But you can see there are a lot of bright lights on the ground that is also reflecting back up on those clouds, making it a little bit harder for us to really see the lightning. But you can see every now and then it gets a little bit brighter. You can kind of see it right now. The lightning is actually picked up just right now. That was more lightning than we have seen in the past few minutes, really, just coming out of this camera. So looks like lightning is starting to increase as that storm is getting a little bit more closer and closer to Hutchinson. Jay? Okay,
and I tell you what, I'm going to keep with the debris signature here. Switch over and use just, I've got the stream on Max 2, so punch up Max 2 behind you. And I think you'll get, there you go, you'll get quicker updates with that. So let's go, and you can see now what's going on with the lightning frequency. So this is approaching Hutch right now. Okay, so we're going to have the live camera in Hutchinson that we're streaming here on Max 2, and we can zoom in on locations there and see what's going on. as that continues to track on over. That debris signature continues to grow that is near Plevna, and that's why hopefully you've already been in your shelters at this point. Now, a couple of things are happening. Number one, the storm is getting closer and closer and closer to the city of Wichita. That's where the radar is. So the debris doesn't have to get as high in the atmosphere for it to be detected. So that's one reason why this signature is growing. Also because this is still a very large tornado pushing through Reno County that is in the process of rolling through Plevna now. So from Plevna over towards Abbeville, you've already got to be down into your shelters at this point. We got the live camera in Hutch. Again, this is the top, this is on Main Street, looking back over towards the southwest, and you're seeing that thunderstorm that rolls in. So we'll see if the tornado itself eventually appears on the camera. Cameron, any update from your position? Where are you related to the storm now?
I am on day 61. About 9 miles to the southwest of the large tornado. Periodically, I see it on the distance, and I mean, it looks like a wedge, and the only way to really discern it is the right side is very sharp, and that's where you see the designation that is a large tornado.
Now, have you made it to Langdon yet
so
on
it does
Kake-Tv?
seem like not yet.
Okay, so yeah, just continue to boogie up Kake-Tv because that'll get you closer and closer and closer here. But yeah, right now this thing is grinding through Plevna as we speak, and unfortunately, you got the big debris signature right on top of it. So unfortunately, kind of a worst case scenario right along US 50 here in Reno County from Plevna over towards Abbeville with this storm. Let's get back over to the velocity data. And we're going to look at the Wichita. We're going to look at, which way the wind's blowing inside the storm. And oh my goodness, this is very strong indications of a very violent tornado at this point in time.
Yeah.
So this continues to move near Plevna. It's going to look like roll right over the top of Plevna at this point. So tornado emergency in effect for Plevna and Reno County as this storm is going to continue tracking. So let's go back live. Tell you what, instead of double box with max 2 right now. So put me in the key here, the box over next to me, put max 2 in there, and then we'll put that back up. Because what we're going to do is in max 2 currently is our Hutch camera live stream. So we're going to be keeping an eye on this thunderstorm from Hutch. So when you get a chance, set that up. I'd appreciate it. So here's what's moving towards Plevna right now. Large, damaging wedge tornado, rolling south of 50, rolling over towards Plevna. We'll continue to kind of back the view out a little bit. They've just updated the tornado warning. So they've moved that polygon. It does not include Hutch yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to be looking live from our camera back over the southwest. So there you go. So now we got live from Hutch, and we've got the live Doppler radar going on at the same time. So as this continues to get closer, we're going to use the lightning flashes to see if we can tell where the storm is. So right now the camera is pointed southwest, which is good because here's downtown. So that's the tornado over near Plevna at this point in time. Got very electrical storm. And as that continues to get closer and closer and closer to Hutch, we're probably going to be able to see it at some point in time here. Meteorologist Cameron Venables down here on 61 near Langdon, so we'll let him continue to roll and give us reports from his vantage point. But this is, unfortunately, very strong, very violent rotational signature that's pretty much on top of Plevna. And when we go over and take a look at correlation coefficient, this is debris detection. Where you see that drop to blue, that is debris detection. So it's lofting plenty of debris into the atmosphere right in the vicinity of Plevna at this point in time. So we're continuing on there. I see our meteorologist Frank Waugh is that you tweaking the camera? Yeah, so Frank is tweaking the camera here, looking for that tornado circulation for us. So, so Frank, you got a mic on, so you can join us with a play-by-play here. So Frank is in the process of using the camera to look for this circulation for us.
Yes, we're kind of looking to the southwest of Hutchinson at this point, kind of right past the water tower.
Say again?
All right, I think they're going to bring my mic up. I am on mic 12 if you are bringing me up.
He's on 12, mic 12.
All right, they say they're barely here. There we go. Maybe that's a little better. Yeah, we are looking to the southwest from downtown, kind of past the water tower there, and just kind of scanning the sky here and hoping if if we can see something, that we are going to see it, kind of in those lightning flashes.
And that's going to be our key, is we got to use the lightning to illuminate it. And the debris signature we're just sticking with because unfortunately we normally don't have one this persistent for this long. Like I said, a couple of things are working in our factor here, unfortunately, as it's getting closer and closer to the radar located over at Eisenhower. You don't have to loft the debris as high. And obviously this has been a very strong to violent tornado to loft the debris in order to get it into the radar beam, and it continues to do that. So let's get back over to the velocity data at this point. So we go over to the Wichita radar. We're going to look at the base reflectivity here, and we're going to roll it over the past 30 minutes. There's that bounded weak echo region. Okay, we're not really seeing it as distinctly now, but let's check out the velocity. Remember, we still had that, very distinct, pattern with the debris. And yeah, unfortunately, that is still a very violent rotational signature going on right along US 50 in the vicinity of Plevna. You should have already been down in the shelters. Stay down there. And again, folks in Reno County, we are on Kake.com/weather now. So if you're watching us via satellite, if you're watching us off antenna, you can go to Kake.com/weather now. Take your iPad, as long as you got some kind of either a Wi-Fi connection, you got connection to the cellular network and you're getting data, you'll be able to watch this live stream. The tornado emergency continues for Reno County and Plevna based on that thunderstorm. Meteorologist Frank Waugh, he's driving the camera that you see that's located downtown over on Main Street, and we're looking to see if we can grab that funnel. Hannah, have we gotten any other reports out of the Weather Service in Wichita based on this storm?
No reports right now, but there is a couple of people typing, so they're probably going to be sending something momentarily.
All right, so Anna's going to keep us updated there. Cameron, have you got anything new from your perspective?
Well, on the left, there's a train that keeps blocking my sight, so it's hard to get a vantage point. But I mean, I passed Langdon. I'm almost to Arlington. I am due south of the tornado. If I had a nice view of the north, I could be able to verify if it's still in progress. But until this train breaks up, I don't got anything yet.
Okay, looks like that bounded weak echo region, that circulation is now getting to the north of US 50. So you can kind of make it out here. Let's get an updated velocity sweep. And again, Frank is going to stay on the downtown Hutch camera. As long as we got lightning here, hopefully we get a chance to get a glimpse of it with our live camera. Let's go back over to the base velocity, and we're going to roll it here. 30 minutes ago, watch it come up from the south. And yep, that's still incredible velocities, unfortunately. Still indicative of a very large tornado in progress in the vicinity of Plevna, now crossing US 50. Let's take a look at the correlation coefficient and see as far as the debris signature goes. And okay, this is actually a little encouraging, the fact that the debris signature is not as pronounced. You notice how that big little blue area that we had? Notice it's not as pronounced now? That's a good thing. That's trending in the right direction. Means we're not getting quite as much debris lofted here. So hopefully this is part of a trend that we're seeing, but that's obviously very good news. And so now we're going to go back and look at the reflectivity mode. If there's still a tornado in progress, it's now going to be to the north of Plevna. This is north of US 50. So this continues to move on out at this point. And now we go back over to the velocity data. And there's your velocity scan. Waiting for the next sweep to come out, because this is in the process of lifting north of 50. And based on the correlation coefficient, we weren't seeing as much debris lofted. So that was a very positive note. You're looking live. Meteorologist Frank Waugh is on the downtown camera, so he's bullseyed into the part of the storm where as it gets closer, if we're going to have a chance of actually seeing that funnel, seeing that vortex, he's going to have it. Hannah, has there been anything else from our chat with the National Weather Service?
No, there hasn't been anything else, but one of the emergency managers from Reno County is currently typing, so I'm wondering if there is still any confirmation of a tornado or if they're going to send in some potential damage from the tornado. It's just kind of I'm waiting for them to potentially send their message pretty soon.
Okay, great. And there you go. The circulation is still basically right on or just on the north edge of 50. And I got to admit, based on the velocity, this is still a very rapidly rotating storm. Let's, stay down
Jay,
and shelter those precautions. Go ahead.
There is a reported home destroyed north of Langdon, approximately 5 miles southwest of Plevna. Everyone is okay, which is some good news, and there are power lines down.
So you said 5 miles southwest of Plevna?
Yes.
Okay, so there's Plevna there, and you go 5 miles southwest, and then you go back and look at this radar velocity over the past 30 minutes, and you notice how that area of rotation just went right over that. So that confirms what we knew. We knew that there was a large tornado on the ground, so we now have it confirmed that it has done damage at this point. And we, based on this velocity, I would still say that we have a tornado on the ground, even though the debris signature has thankfully improved. This isn't nearly as pronounced as it was. And keep in mind, let's kind of roll this. We're going to go 30 minutes ago, and I'm going to zoom back in just to show you. Remember, we talked about that was near Plevna, 5 miles to the southwest. So back here, notice how that that correlates to that increase that we saw. So I'm going to zoom back in a little bit tighter once again, and you'll see that debris signature. So let's go back 5 miles southwest of Plevna. Here we are, Plevna. We're going to go about 5 miles to the southwest, and notice how the debris signature increased dramatically after it rolled over that location. So that's pretty likely that what you're seeing there is the confirmation of that damage to that home and that getting lofted into the atmosphere. We're not getting as strong a signature now in terms of the debris being lofted, but it could be because just it hasn't hit anything substantial to throw it back up, because the velocity data is still, unfortunately, very scary with this storm. Let's go back over to Wichita. We're going to go over to the base velocity. Again, this is the rotation. It's not as strong, but it is still strong enough to be producing a significant tornado. It is now to the north of 50. And as I kind of back the view up, you'll notice how, because it's taken more of a turn to the northeast, they've adjusted the polygon to the north a little more. So instead of tracking straight northeast, it's kind of, made a slight little curve to the left there. So that new polygon, they've turned a little more to the left. It doesn't include the city of Hutchinson at this point. And it may be just kind of a close call to the northwest. But that circulation, fortunately, is starting to weaken. It doesn't mean that a new one can't take over. Remember how we've had a lot of cycling here with this thunderstorm. It'll produce a significant tornado. That one will wrap up, and then later a new circulation will take over. So I still think we got a tornado on the ground at this point. This is a very strong velocity signature, but at least it's trending downward in the nice direction that we're going here. So let me continue to zoom on in here, and we're going to look at both of these signatures at the same time. So there's the new one. That's the north of Plevna. That's the one that produced the damage 5 miles southwest. And then this potentially could be another tornado developing. And you see the storm rolling in live to Hutch on the other side of the screen here. And Cameron, just kind of give us an update on your position and what you're seeing.
All right, Jay. I'm in Arlington, and I'm going north up South Howard Street. I want to try to get you guys a view if this thing's ongoing, because I have a little time before it passes to my north. So I'm going to continue going north a little bit. I'm hoping it opens up so I can see some sky, and this is probably going to be our best view of the tornado. I think I see power flashes in the distance, but we're very treed here. I'm not going to go too much farther because obviously there's a violent tornado in front of me, but I'm going to try to get the best view I can with what I'm given. But we are slowly just kind of inching toward it.
All right, because what I do is I've got your
there's
position.
A lot of trees.
Okay, because I've got your position on the map. So there's Cameron, and there's where the tornado is right up here. So as far as Cameron's distance from the tornado at the current time, it would be about 11 miles to the southeast. So he's going to be looking back to the northwest to see what kind of view he can give us as that continues on. Is there any? I mean, do you have a north-south road where you can get up to 50 at this point, or is the only way to get to 50 to go all the way up 61?
Yeah, it takes me up to Abbeville, this road.
Oh, okay. So what you're on is getting you. Okay, got it. Cool. So and as soon as you get something, give us a yell, and we'll get you back there.
I will.
Okay.
So,
Frank,
Jay,
what have you
we're
got?
looking almost due west. Let me kind of reposition the camera here. So we are looking due west at this point, and it looks like this is going to be just kind of, south of, west southwest here. And I do think we are seeing a pronounced increase right now, at least in the lightning strikes. We're starting to actually see a few more cloud to ground strikes on kind of the horizons. We're getting more of a direct view back to that direction. I've been listening to Reno County law enforcement. It does sound like that they have quite a few crews out checking reports of damage at this hour, kind of in that, Plevna area north of Langdon. So they are in kind of active mode now. At one point, they did send some of their people, to shelter in that zone and now have them back out.
All right, okay. But other than, correct me if I'm wrong, other than the report that we have confirming the house destroyed southwest of Plevna, have we had anything else out of Reno County?
Yeah, it does not sound like there has been a definitive, and not hearing any reports of any of their spotters at this point on something. So, that may be some good news.
Okay. Now, one thing I want to do is I'm going to go back over the past 30 minutes here, just to show you, what we've been looking at in terms of, this is the storm of the moment here, but let's go back and look at the correlation coefficient, or basically this is what we use to confirm whether or not we've got debris lofted. So over the past 30 minutes, we zoom in here, and I'm going to take this all the way back into parts of, Stafford County. So we're going to kind of slide over here, and you'll notice it really picked up. So it came over near Neola. And then once it got apparently near that house strike, that's when, see the blue there, how it expanded in size? Really think that correlated to that report of the house getting damaged southwest of Plevna, which is still probably some debris that's lofted here. Still probably very likely that we have the tornado on the ground between Plevna and Huntsville at this point. So if you're anywhere in and around Huntsville, you need to make sure that you stay down in your shelters. Cameron, how's your progress going over towards Abbeville?
I got great visibility, so I mean, if this thing is producing, it should be off to the left here. So I will shift the camera to the left, but I mean, I could clearly see the base on some of these lightning strikes.
How close to Abbeville are you now?
And we're looking right at this thing.
Any idea how close to Abbeville you are at this point?
There's a lot. Let me find out. I am, looks like about 2 or 3 miles.
Okay, great. So let us know when you get there. That's what's left of the circulation that came near Plevna. Still rotating, still definitely potential putting a tornado in terms of its vicinity over towards Huntsville at this point. While camera's kind of intercepting here, let's go back over, put the Hutch camera back up there, yeah, because we got a lot more electrical activity with that one. As far as its distance from Huntsville, that area of circulation, it's only about 2 miles off to the east, so hopefully you stayed hunkered down here. As I put this in motion over the past 30 minutes, you will notice that as it's weakened, it's made a turn to the left, which again is not unusual at all. You get these tornadic circulations, they start to weaken, they make a turn more towards the left. So that's what's been happening here, was moving northeast, 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 northeast. Now it's finally starting to weaken, make a turn more due north. So that kind of put it in the vicinity of Huntsville. But what we're going to be watching is here to see if this is going to be the new circulation north of Abbeville. This is produced confirmed tornado earlier, damaged the home southwest of Plevna. The potential for the next tornado to form is right there. And if it does, that's going to be, still probably going to stay away from Hutch, but it's close enough call where you're going to need to keep an eye on it. And if that does develop a tornado, it might be close enough for us to, to see that with our camera downtown here. Obviously very electrical. We're looking live from our Weather Now camera, and that other circulation near Huntsville continues to weaken. So this is some very good news there.
Hey Jay, I have a report from earlier from Stafford County. They said Stafford County has sustained damage to residences, power lines, and trees in the southeast part of the county. Law enforcement and fire units are currently trying to remove debris from a residence where individuals are trapped in the basement, but no injuries are reported so far.
And that makes, absolute perfect sense, because we've been tracking this as soon as it started ramping back up in western Pratt County. So just to remind you, this started south of 400, moved north of Cullison, near Iuka, near Neola, the damage near Plevna. So this is all kind of, connected here. And now that circulation is weakening. You know what? It's almost gone now. It's not completely gone, but it's awfully close. Could still have a small tornado in progress now to the east-northeast of Huntsville here in Reno County. And what we're going to be watching very carefully is right in here, north of Abbeville, to see if this is going to be a new circulation that is going to take over. So that is what's left of the tornado. Could still be producing a tornado, but trust me, this is a much smaller tornado if it's still ongoing than what we had earlier. Back over here, that is the suspect area that if something's going to pop up, that's going to be the next area to watch. So Reno County, all eyes are on you tonight. There's Hutch, there's South Hutch, and there's, A96 as it continues to snake on over towards the northwest here, and there's US 50. So we'll continue to see if this spins down. We're live from our downtown camera on Main Street in Hutchinson. We've had a lot of lightning, and we've been looking for bases here, and so far haven't done anything. Cameron, any update from you? I know you were getting close to Abbeville there. We'll catch up with Cameron again in a sec. Let me go over to the latest image. This is good.
So right now, Jay, we are looking due west out of Hutchinson. I think Cam's getting back in the truck at this point. Cam, you can let us know when you are. If you look kind of to the north, you can kind of see, kind of more of the base of this. As we look kind of almost due west, we are kind of looking into the rain, and makes it a little more difficult to actually see anything from that camera in Hutchinson.
All right, and we continue to see, a weak area rotation. And the key is it's weak. But there it is, 4th Avenue, Langdon Road, just to the north. So this is northeast of Huntsville now, and it's northeast by about 2 miles. That's what's left of the circulation. So there could still be a weak tornado spinning down at this point. But the key is it's a weak tornado. It's not nearly anything like it was earlier. We can kind of back the view out a little bit here. And that continues to weaken. So our big question mark, is this going to be the new circulation that takes over? Right now, it is not super organized. We've had things organized fairly quickly, but it's not super organized right now, and we're going to continue to watch this. Let's go back over to meteorologist Cameron Venable. Cameron, you back in the car yet?
Yeah, I'm back in the car. I was talking with some other chasers, and just as we finished our conversation, it looks just north of Abbeville. It looks like a tornado in progress.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can get north.
Okay,
and
so
I'll let you guys know. I'm going to get you a view.
Okay, so you actually see that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so Cameron...
It's also wrapped pretty good.
Meteorologist Cameron Venable is reporting a tornado in progress north of Abbeville. So let's go over and look at the reflectivity. And looks like it's okay. So it's due north. I got to admit, not a real strong radar signature here, but Cameron's the one who says he sees it. And this would be associated with the part of the storm that we were going to see if it reorganizes and would be the next circulation. So this is where Cameron is looking up in here, and Cameron's telling us he sees a tornado at this point, and it's going to be taking off kind of towards the northeast. So if it does continue, that's going to take it over from Adams Corner, probably close to Nickerson, but probably going to stay, south and southeast of Nickerson, between Nickerson and Willowbend, as that's going to continue tracking over north of Hutch. So in the city of Hutch itself, looks like these particular circulations that are ginning up, they're going to miss Hutch. So you're not going to be impacted by this one. So there's Cameron. He's in the process of trying to intercept that for us and give us some additional data as that continues tracking across Reno County. So Reno County, I mean, this is it. This is the storm in the whole Cake land that we're concerned about. Sure, you got some thunderstorms over here in northern Chase County and Marion County. Those are not severe. Saline County, a little tiny shower rolling up south of Salina here over towards Bridgeport, but that's nothing. This storm has a history of producing multiple tornadoes across Pratt County, across Stafford County, and into Reno County. We've had confirmed damage. There are rescues in progress in southeastern Stafford County from this storm producing a tornado. Also report confirmed of a home that was either heavily damaged or destroyed about 5 miles to the southwest of Plevna with the storm as that rolls through Reno County. And Cameron Venable saying he believes he has a tornado north of Abbeville. This would be to the west of Adams Corner. Cameron, you still have eyes on that? What do you see it now?
I saw a cone. Hold on. Let me park for a sec. Saw what looked to be a cone funnel. There's also a large area of rain wrapping around it, so it's hard to see visibility-wise, but it's going to be just to the right of that sign. So let me zoom in a little bit so you can see off on the distance. And I'm running, well, actually, I guess I could technically go north still, but I'm about to run into 50 right here, so I could probably go just north of 50. I'm on South Sago Road, so I'm gonna just start jogging north again. I'll tell you guys if I see a better view of it, but it looked possibly like a brief tornado because I'm not seeing it at the current time. But I was with some other storm chasers. We all spotted it right at the same time, so I have a feeling we might have had a brief tornado.
Okay. All right, Cameron. So this is what Cameron's looking at right here. And okay, is this going to reorganize? Is this going to be the next area? Here's what's left. This tornado's gone now. This is the one that did the damage south of Plevna. Watch it do the hook to the left. Comes up, hooks to the left, and is gone. Comes up, hooks to the left, and is gone. So that one we're done with. We're done with the one north of Huntsville. And now the big question is, are we going to get another tornado? Cameron says he's already probably had one that, again, Cameron, you said it's already gone, right? That one's already gone, correct?
Yeah, I'm not seeing it anymore. Okay. It very briefly looked like a cone, looked like some contact toward the ground, but it's also probably rain wrapped because I could see the rain wrapping around the larger circulation, the mesocyclone. So it might have just wrapped in rain, and that's why I can't see it anymore.
Okay, and so we still.
Jay, we are getting more reports of Reno County sending units to Plevna, and also hearing of a fair amount of power lines down on roads of kind of units getting stopped and that sort of thing because of that. Even maybe wire and fences in the road as well. So if people are in that area, for sure you need to be aware that you may be encountering power lines down. We are still looking kind of almost due west from our camera on top of the First National Bank of Hutch. So that's kind of that camera that you are seeing there, kind of adjusting the brightness a little bit, trying to clean it up a little bit so we can see the horizon. But you'll notice, though, that the lightning density in this has decreased quite a bit as we look to the west. Okay.
Also, and Frank's over in position 21, so we can shoot him on camera too when we go in and out of him. So, all right, we still continue the tornado warning for Reno County and Rice County. That is until 1 in the morning for what may get reorganized here. So we'll see if this redevelops. Earlier, meteorologist Cameron Venable saying that they probably had a brief tornado produced from this part of the thunderstorm, and that continues to track over towards Nickerson. So if you want to play it safe, take those tornado precautions at this point. So if you're in and around Nickerson, hey, go ahead and seek shelter. We don't have we don't believe we have a tornado in progress at this point. We'll go back over to the the correlation coefficient. This is what we use for debris detection, and we're not really seeing any kind of debris lofted at this point in time. So we're feeling pretty good. We're not out of the woods yet, because we still are in an environment that we're concerned about has enough juice and enough spin to continue a tornado threat. And the good news is I don't really see a whole lot of very nice organization here. And hopefully this trend will continue. Pretty easy to see what we had, that tornado that was near Plevna. See how that rolled out there? That's gone. We're done with that. And so Cameron said that there was, probably a potential brief touchdown here north of Abbeville. Can kind of make out where that happened there. But we're not really seeing super organization. But if you're in and around Nickerson, let's go ahead and play it safe at this point. and we're going to continue the tornado warning until it goes. And has there been any additional reports coming out of the Weather Service office?
No, there hasn't been any reports coming out, but they are saying that this storm is slowly moving towards an area that's less favorable for tornadoes. They're saying once it kind of reaches McPherson County, that's where it really starts to drop off. So hopefully once it starts to get in that area, we're going to start to see that storm kind of die down a little bit more and kind of hopefully see this stop spinning up tornadoes.
Okay, great. I'll tell you what, when you get a chance to, why don't you update the watch map for us so we can give everybody just kind of a view of where we are and when we think the times are going to these run out. So you're watching continuous coverage for a tornado warning that continues for Reno County and also just for parts of Rice County. It does include the city of Sterling and down to the south. Let's get an update from Cameron. Cameron, why don't you give us a position update and what we're seeing from your vantage point? Oh, I guess Cameron's got to go. I'm sorry, I guess you got to get back in the car. Not a problem, Cameron.
I'm just north of US 50, still on South Sago Street. So I'm looking more towards Nickerson now. And, there's definitely some sort of lowering going on. There, you can see wrapping rain bands, but I'm not really seeing a defined lowering at the moment. So that is good news. But I think very briefly there might have been a tornado just as it passed north of Abbeville. And I mean very brief, one of the more short-lived ones today.
And basically I see you along 50. So are you going to stay along 50 or what's your plan from here, Cameron?
I think I might. Yeah, that's a tough call. I could go north and then just kind of follow it, but then again, Nickerson brings me back to Hutchinson, so I wonder if I should just go east to Hutch and then see how it is after that. But the road network's kind of like in a circle at this point.
Okay. All right. Well, let us know what you decide. So meteorologist Cameron Venables on that. I want to go back over to Hannah Dennis with just an update of the counties that are still currently under the tornado watch. Hannah?
Yeah, a lot of them have been canceled, but you can still see there is still a sliver of counties out there still under that tornado watch until 1 a.m. However, once we start seeing those storms really start to push past, you can see right near this line, like we're watching McPherson County, once it starts pushing into there, we're probably going to start seeing more in these counties starting to drop off of this watch as we're going a little bit more into tonight. So hopefully this will clean up even more, but we still have that tornado watch in effect for a handful of counties until 1 a.m. this morning. Jay?
All right, thanks a lot. And as we go back live to Kake's First Alert Doppler HD, the tornado warning is basically for what's south of Nickerson, if this is going to produce another tornado. Cameron Venables down here in Abbeville had a little brief tornado from that. Oh, yeah, go ahead. What you got, Hannah?
A report just kind of came in that in Plevna, several homes destroyed, but no reports of injuries right now. But there has been several, homes destroyed. So it's something really kind of went through there, definitely caused some damage. So we're going to be probably hearing about more reports about that as we're going more into today, especially once the sun gets up.
Well, and then that also correlates with what we were seeing with the debris detection. We noticed as that was rolling out of Stafford County and into Reno County through Plevna, we had a very distinct and persistent debris signature for that entire path, and it got even bigger and brighter as that got to Plevna, which unfortunately is probably debris from those homes that have been heavily damaged here. So thank you for that, Hannah. Appreciate it. And now we continue tracking the tornado warning for Reno County, including Nickerson, and for Rice County, including Sterling. Once this storm continues out of this polygon, unless something new develops that we have not seen, they're probably going to start letting it go at that point. It's 12:31. The watch is set to expire at 1 a.m. Let's get you back over and take a look at some of the velocity data here. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch. Here we go. Let's switch over to the Wichita radar. We're going to look at that base velocity of 0.5 degrees. Well, didn't like my click there, did it? No. I wonder why it's doing that. Okay, so let's go over to base velocity here. Now we're going to go back up to part of the storm I'm concerned about. Here we go. Let's get you around Nickerson and around Adams Corner here. Don't see any really strong rotation at this point. Again, the tornado that did the damage, watch it over the past 30 minutes. It's gone. That's not going to redevelop. Meteorologist Cameron Venable was near Abbeville in 50, reported a brief touchdown. So even that circulation that's approaching Nickerson has spun down. So we're in great shape right now. Everything is looking really good. And even the lightning strikes have gone down. Frank, I noticed you got the Hutch camera over there behind you.
Yeah, we've kind of turned the camera more kind of to the west-northwest at this point, as we're kind of just looking north of due west out of Hutchinson. And yeah, you will notice that the amount of lightning in this has dropped off tremendously. We are seeing kind of more. Let me turn off my alarm that was supposed to wake me up this morning.
I really appreciate you joining us, Frank, by the way.
Anytime. But yeah, you can see that the lightning has dropped off tremendously. We're kind of looking kind of west-northwest. I know it's sometimes difficult to kind of get your bearings when we're looking at a camera like this at dark, but you are seeing maybe a little more lightning to the northwest of Hutchinson, and once in a while you can kind of see the rain-free base there kind of to the north and east, but yeah, not looking nearly as intense as it once was when it comes to those lightning strikes.
All right, and fortunately, I mean, it looks like the city of Hutchinson itself is going to be spared anything to do with this particular storm. So let's get back over Cake's first alert Doppler as we continue tracking that tornado warning. Here we go 30 minutes ago. I'm going to roll that into motion for you. And I got to admit, we're very happy with what we're seeing in terms of what's changing here. And what is changing is the fact that we're just, okay, let's go forward here. There we go. Looking good. We recenter this. Back down to the north. There you go. So if anything is going to happen, and the key is if, we're going to watch here in the vicinity of Nickerson. So if you're in Nickerson, just play it safe for a few more minutes. Let the storm roll to the north of you, and then we're going to be done with it. Don't see any kind of strong circulation, but just because earlier this kind of teased it, and earlier this part of the thunderstorm is where Cameron reported a brief tornado. We're just erring on the side of caution at this point. Cameron, are you back in the car? You got anything you want to add here? Okay.
Alsago Road, just venture north to try to take a peek toward the Nickerson storm. Unfortunately, like you said, the lightning is not nearly as frequent, so it's harder to get a good view of structure. But yeah, I'm behind it. So if it tries anything, I should be able to let you guys know.
Well, the good news too is, like, you're seeing a lot less lightning activity. That also would tend to be a weakening trend of the storm.
Yes, that is 100% correct.
Okay, so everything, I got to admit, let's face it, we're increasingly feeling better about what we're seeing in Reno County and in Rice County now. All right, thank you. We'll rejoin Cameron here in a second.
It's
okay.
So much better.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Cameron, thanks a lot. So let's go back over here. We'll expand the view once again.
Jay, we are getting word from
Frank.
the National Weather Service. They are going to go ahead and cancel that warning.
Okay.
They're also kind of agreeing that this thing has really kind of spun down and not quite the threat that it once was.
That's fantastic. And just to kind of get you updated, we do have other thunderstorms in progress here. Marion County, Northern Chase, not severe. These storms weakening. And okay, they canceled it. So the polygon even disappeared off the screen here. Thank you, Frank, for that update. So at this point, we're going to stop the coverage. Should we get new severe thunderstorm warnings? Should we get new tornado warnings? Obviously, we will get back on this. So thank you for joining us tonight. Keep it on Cake. We'll keep you updated.
We now join our program, Already in Progress.